Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Rakiya. So I kind of this is so spur of the moment. I'm literally in the middle of doing another video right now, but I wanted to do my eyebrows really quickly and just have a real quick chat about a couple of topics that have come up in my social life. In particular, I want to talk about a new topic that's like, it's not new topic, but it's just coming to light because I feel like a lot of ugly truths are being spilled out of communities right now as people are reflecting, as communities are trying to heal. You have to kind of exhale, and ugly truths and ugly norms are going to come about. One of them, particularly in the Somali community, being sexual assault and sexual abuse, and how, in my opinion, the biggest known secret. I cannot tell you how many people I know in my life that know who their assaulter was, most likely a family member, most likely a neighbor, most likely a community, a family friend, and nothing gets done. And you know, it's different when it plays out at home than it is here, because I have also seen women who are consistently battered. Physical abuse, like talk to the hand is really what it is. I've seen it. I remember one time going into the shops in Addis Ababa, and my aunt's friend came up to her, and she, like, her eyes were bloodshot, like because he punched her in the face, you know. And the only thing my aunt could do, or thought she could do, was have her sleep over at our house that night and put makeup on her face to make sure that the bruises aren't showing. And this woman obviously didn't want any of that. She wanted him to stop. She wanted, see her anger, you can see it in her eyes, that it wasn't some makeup is gonna fix it, you know what I mean? But that's what we tend to do in the Somali community. I feel like particularly back at home, I understand that there isn't the level of freedom that exists here, because here there are so many more opportunities here for there to be justice and accountability than I think there are back home. Like, I know of people who, you know, tell their family members, and the disgust is obviously there. There are people that are mad about the fact that, you know, their daughter or their niece or their granddaughter is in a relationship with an abusive man, but they go and they have a chat with him. How are you gonna have a chat with the assaulter? You know what I mean? And that's the norm. You have a chat with him and you say, hey man, stop doing that shit. Like, don't beat her up. You know, if you do this one more time, like, da da da. And it's like a soft threat. And you know, in that situation, you just loaded an assaulter with every reason to attack this person because they snitched, or because they, you know, went and told on you to their family. And at the end of the day, the assaulter knows very well that it's just him and his partner in that house, and whatever children they might have, if they have any. So there are so many practices that are just so counterintuitive that we take, and that's even if we address it. Okay, I think physical abuse and partner violence, I think that's a more common conversation, but the most taboo conversation in our community has to be sexual assault. And it is disgusting to know that you are going to see your assaulter everywhere you go. They have the audacity to act like, you know, that everything's cool. Assaulters have a way of thinking they're invincible. Like, they really think that none of this gets to them. And even if you were to say something, first of all, the people they prey on are too young to understand what's going on. And if they are old enough to understand what's going on, do you know how easily manipulated the child's mind is? A simple threat that won't mean anything to us can mean the world to them, you know what I mean? So it's disgusting, and it's rarely talked about, because if I'm being honest with you, more people than you're ready for in your life will be labeled rapist and pedophile. And I feel like somehow people can't swallow that pill. To know that your son, your brother, your uncle, your dad, your whatever is capable of doing that, I think people would rather be blissfully ignorant than actually hold their own family members accountable. It's good that we're having this conversation. I'm so happy that abuse survivors are willing to come forward and point the finger at who wronged them. But my question is, what is the Somali community going to do about this disgusting norm? How are we as a community going to hold these people accountable? I can understand people like, there's a whole, oh, don't call the police, come hello area, Allah, wadokta hawa mado qofkani, and gal chalka marku gal wadokta se ugali donan. So he didn't think of any of that when they were doing what they were doing? And I don't even want to make this gendered, because I know as obviously the majority of it is males who are perpetrators, but there can be women assaulters as well. So, excuse my gendering, but I'm just going off of the common and the majority. But nonetheless, Somali people have this fear of tattling on their own because of what the American justice system is going to do to them. They're going to over sentence them, yada yada. I don't care. I really don't. I'm sorry, but when you decide to take advantage of another human being, a child, someone weaker than you, someone who doesn't know when you take advantage of other people, you need to understand there are consequences. And in the Somali community, God is gonna take care of it is not enough, because these people don't even believe in God. Because if they did believe in God, why would they be doing what they're doing? So no, all right, there needs to be a accountability conversation. There needs to be a system of accountability in this world. What happens in the afterlife happens in the afterlife, but how many people are they gonna do whatever they want to before they die? So no, I don't, it's a disease and I don't stand for it. We always think about how the community is always leaning on each other, you know what I mean? And when you have a collective thinking like that, it's really hard to make rules that hold one person accountable all the time, because no one's gonna think of it as, oh, that's just a bad apple. People are gonna be saying, oh my God, this is tainting our community. Our community is looking like we're filled with a bunch of rapists. Well, more than anything, I want there to be an authentic opportunity for the people who have suffered and who are survivors of these heinous acts to be the ones who are listened to. Listen to what they want. What are their needs? What are their goals? What are their wishes? What do they want to see? What is it that they need? Do they want justice? Do they want, therapy? Do they want there to be acknowledged? We have to listen to what survivors want. And the only way that's gonna happen is if there's a shift in who is in the center of the conversation. I feel like this conversation is one that needs to be led by survivors. If you're a man and you understand your privilege, especially in the Somali community, and you see that what you say and what I say are not held to the same caliber of seriousness, you need to take it upon yourself to make sure that your voice is used for something. If you know there are people in your life who are participating and are predators, you owe it to everybody else who doesn't have a voice, to all of those who don't feel like they're going to be heard. You owe it to them to speak up and speak out about it. The more we talk, the more we air that shit out. Forget shame, forget reputation. Somali people have a way of sticking on to this pride, and I get it. We have this pride of never looking like we're hurt and never, tainting our images by airing out our dirty laundry. I don't care. There are people's lives who are at stake here. There are people who are altered for the rest of their life, traumatized, and they can't even speak about justice because there's no type of conversation, of accountability being held. It's a heartbreaking. So if you are a person who is even remotely suspicious of any wrongdoing going on in your household or in your neighborhood or in your community, please speak up about it. That's going to empower a lot of people that I feel like we don't even know about. All right, that empowers an entire demographic that has been invisible, all because of the rhetoric and the norms that we set within our community. And it's a shame, and we need to change that. So I'm making this video basically of me not even doing my eyebrows, making this video to highlight the conversations that I'm seeing, because I want to be a part of future conversations. Regardless though, I would encourage everybody to be more vocal about the topic. I think that's something we can all do. I think Somali people take pride in our unity. We take pride in our ability to be there for one another in the midst of tragedy. And this is no different. Just because it's a harder conversation to have, it's a traumatic conversation to have, it's worth bringing it up, because when you legitimize and validate this topic of conversation as a topic of conversation, you're validating those experiences, those hurt feelings, you're validating the trauma that this person has gone through, and they will be encouraged to speak up. And to anybody who's a survivor of these forms of abuse, first and foremost, I just want to listen, because there's nothing that I can say or tell you that I can do, right, that would actually benefit you if I don't know, what people want. I think for the most part, it's pretty obvious to say a lot of people want justice. A lot of people want their assaulters to be held accountable. And if that's what we gotta do, that's what we gotta do. But before anybody gets on this savior shit and tries to speak and act for survivors, I think the most important thing to do is first create the space, create the environment for any survivor to be able to speak about their experiences, and then ask what their demands are, ask what they want, what they really want. And even if they don't know what they want, that's fine, because at least you gave them the opportunity to speak for themselves on behalf of themselves. I think Somali men have categorized the level of importance and the level of validity to give a woman based on how close she is to them. And it's unfortunate, because Somali men look at their moms and they think the queen of my world, the light of my life, the gates to heaven for me, you know what I mean? And they put their mothers on such a pedestal, mashallah. Then, you look at their siblings and, the ones they protect, the ones that teach them, the ones that they would die for. You look at their cousins and it's important but less important. You look at their female friends and it's important but less important. And then you look at women they have no type of interactions with. And I fear and I believe that most Somali men don't give two shits about the livelihood of a woman when she is independent, right, in relations to him. And I think, unfortunately, Somali men give power, give validity, and they give respect to women in their lives, but it's not across the board. It's not all women. It's what the woman is in relation to him, which again is centering him. So I feel like a lot of Somali boys and men do this. Everything that they interact with, they look at how important they are to them, not just how important they are in general. A woman's life or a man's life, a human's life is a human's life. They deserve dignity, respect. They deserve support. They deserve justice. It doesn't matter what they are to you. It really doesn't. Okay, well, I did my eyebrows. Create those spaces. You're never gonna get those stories if people don't feel like they're safe and they're gonna be heard and they're gonna be validated. And especially if you're a man, the best thing you can do for all of us is to have genuine reflection and understand why you behave the way you behave and what that's rooted in. Y'all need therapy. A lot of y'all need therapy. You constantly write off necessary processings and necessary emotions and necessary pain that you need to go through in order to come out stronger, you need to go through, and you put it aside. You hurdle over that, and there's going to be so many ways in which it shows up in your life. I pray that we have a real long, hard look at ourselves as a community, and we own up to the mistakes and the wrongdoings that we've done to many people, mostly women in our community and children. A lot of y'all are terrible fathers, but well, anyways, thanks for watching me do my eyebrows and rant. Yeah, well, I know it's kind of a heavy video, I'm sorry, but once again, thanks so much for stopping by and watching this video and taking the time to listen to me and what I have to say. I appreciate it. And until next time, be happy, be healthy, be safe out in these streets. Bye.